Good day, everyone. Today, let's talk about harsh or hasty decisions. What decision can we categorize as harsh or hasty one? These are kind of the decision that we make without giving a proper time to think about the outcome or the consequences of such decisions. And we are all guilty of this because many people act quickly when they are angry, when they are excited, and when they are under pressure. In another word, there are many factors, many conditions that can make one make a quick or harsh decision. Excitement, happiness is one of such factors. When we are angry, when we are seriously annoyed, we make decision, and decision made at such one moment are quick or rash decision. When we are under pressure, peer pressure, pressure from the family, pressure from colleagues at work, pressure from even from the economic situations of things, all those things can make us or make one make harsh or hasty decisions. But irrespective of the condition or factors that push one to make such decision, the fact remain that those conditions, those decisions made at such conditions are often lead to regret. They are all lead to regret. For example, a married woman made a decision when she was annoyed with her husband, and she removed her wedding ring from her hand, give it back to her husband to say, this is the end. I am done with you. I can no longer cope with this relationship. Only after a few moments, this same wife asks her husband, what do you want me to prepare for you when we get home? Because the agreement broke up while they were on their way, coming from somewhere, going back home. While still on that journey, the woman made that decision to quit the relationship. Still on that same journey, after a few minutes, the woman started asking her husband, who we can call a strange man this time around, that what should we eat when we get home? What do I prepare for you? And the husband replied her that I don't speak with stranger, because as far as for him concerned, you have become a stranger. And besides, he doesn't speak with somebody else's wife while he remain single, because she he has been divorced. It was then that it got done on the woman that she had made a very serious mistake. A rash or hasty decision has landed her in a very serious problem. That is the decision made when one is angry. It's not only when we are angry, when you are happy, when you are highly excited, you can also make a decision that you will come to regret a few minutes after. So when we find ourselves under those circumstances, we want to give ourselves a few second break, a few second thought before we make any decision, because the decision we made at that moment we have will create a long time problem. Yes, even though there might be the decision to solve our problem instantly at that moment. And even if it solve the problem, it is very sure that those problems solved are going the decision we made to solve those problems are going to give us multiple or bigger problems in the long time run. Does that mean we cannot make decision? No, we can. But whenever we have to make the decisions, taking our time, a few minutes to reflect, to think or ponder over the outcome of that decision, over the consequences of that decision, will be very, very important, because good decision need calm thinking and patience. So taking even a few seconds to pause can help us to choose better, can help us to make a very better decision, rather than to make the decision when the thing just come to our head like that. No, we want to take a very moment, to think of the consequences, the possible outcome of such decision. In nutshell, think before you act. Think before you make any decision, because one moment of thought can change everything. Will it not better not to make a decision, other than to make decision after a few minutes, after a few moment of time, you come back to be regretting that decision. And in most cases, those decisions are irreversible. Yes, they will have been made and it won't be possible to revise them. So before we make decision, let's think. Let's give 2-3 seconds to quickly think over what could be the outcome, the consequences of those decisions. And not only decision, even before we utter a word, a statement from our mouth, when we are angry, when we are so happy, let's take a few minutes to quickly think over those things we want to say. Because when we utter those statements, we cannot retrieve them. Yes, we cannot retrieve them. It goes out and it stays there forever, and we continue to regret making such a statement, making such a decision. So to be on the safer side, let's act wisely. Let's think before we talk, before we act, before we make any decision. Let's give that few seconds, and that will help us to always remain on the safer side. Thank you for watching.